Tonight on News 5 Live, swift response to new COVID measures. Healthcare workers try to avert more cases. Restaurants blindsided by latest closures. And musical chairs in the UDP once more. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Stay safe and submit your sickness benefit claim form electronically. Follow these 4 steps. Step 1. Obtain your medical certificate. At consultation, the doctor certifies your days of illness and provides you with a medical certificate. Step 2. Fill out your sickness benefit form. Complete all the fields in parts 1 to 4 on the front page of the sickness benefit form. Step 3. Request your salaries record form. Contact your employer for your salaries record form. Step 4. Submit your sickness benefit claim form. Scan or take a clear picture of the sickness benefit form, salaries record, and proof of bank account. Email the documents to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz within 14 days. You will receive an email reply confirming receipt of your claim. After the submission of all documents, your claim is processed for payment to your account. For any COVID-related illnesses, contact the Ministry of Health for further guidance. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Have you tried the Atlantic Insurance app yet? If not, you are literally missing out. When you request a renewal on your motor insurance policy through our AIC app, you automatically get an additional 10% off. When you use our app to request a renewal of your property insurance, you get a special discount. For new customers, the savings get even bigger. Request a quotation using our app, and upon acceptance of the business, you qualify for up to 30% on motor insurance. And of course, special discount applies for property insurance. Download and use our AIC mobile app today and save. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Improving lives, delivering quality. Water for you and me in Belize. BWS, we make it happen.
For the immediate future, our entire country's focus is to ensure that each of us take adequate measures to mitigate against the COVID-19 pandemic. We all need to ensure frequent hand washing or sanitizing, regular disinfection of surfaces, constant social distancing, and a sufficient supply of sanitizing and cleansing material. At this critical time, a reliable supply of clean potable water is of utmost importance to ensure our health and peace of mind. Water is therefore a vital necessity to help us remain free from illness and ultimately to help Belize's economic recovery. Help us to help you by paying your water bill. Our return to a healthy and vibrant economy depends on you.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, The Barry, Quartz, Shopagas, Gadgets, and Cellular Plus. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
We all find ourselves reminiscing on life before COVID-19, roaming freely, embracing without concern, laughing and enjoying the splendors of life. My, how we miss those times. It's time to get vaccinated so we can all start doing the things we love with the people we love in the safest possible manner once again. Digi, Mayona Resorts, and the Ministry of Health encourages all Belizeans to get your first and second vaccine for chances to win tons of awesome prizes now through September 30th. Win free LTE data packages every week, cash prizes, and a free 1-year mobile postpaid plan each month courtesy of Digi. Plus a weekend family getaway at a Mayona Gold Standard Resort each month courtesy Mayona Resorts. Winners will be posted on Digi Facebook and Instagram and Ministry of Health's Facebook every Friday starting June 25th. Visit a vaccination center nearest you today. Get vaccinated and win. Visit livedigi.com for more details.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, September 16th. I am Sabrina Daly. As most Belizeans already know, a new set of COVID regulations will come into effect on Sunday. Those rules are the latest attempt by the Briceño administration to stem the spread of the virus across the country, but more so in Belize District, where the number of daily infections have skyrocketed over the past few weeks. On Wednesday night, Prime Minister John Briceño addressed the nation in a recorded statement, during which he stressed stringent measures have to be put in place to meaningfully address the scourge.
For the second year in a row, our national celebrations have been greatly curtailed by this pandemic. Of course, where COVID-19 is concerned, we are not alone. The world over is dealing with the daily challenges caused by infections and death. Together as Belizeans, many of us have worked hard to limit infections and to follow the advice of the experts at home and abroad. Yet even with the best efforts of many, we find ourselves in the midst of a third wave of the virus, one that is aggressive and is causing infections at a more rapid pace. For those of you who have not been taking this matter seriously, let me address you directly. The current situation in Belize is indeed alarming. The last report from the Ministry of Health shows that the number of daily new confirmed COVID cases have been increasing dramatically. Yesterday alone, there were 200 new confirmed cases with a positivity rate of 16.4%. As of yesterday, there were 1,416 active cases in the country.
For the next 2 weeks, starting on Sunday, September 19th, mainland Belize will be in a semi-lockdown for 2 weeks. With the exception of Hopkins, Placencia, Key Cocker, and San Pedro, all tourist destinations, cities, towns, and villages are subject to a nightly curfew beginning at 7 p.m. Prime Minister Briceño details the upcoming changes.
We are once again faced with circumstances that require collective action, and so to deal with the precarious situation we currently face, to guard the health and economy of the nation, and on the advice of our healthcare professionals, Cabinet is forced to take drastic measures by imposing the following restrictions. Starting Sunday, the 20th of September 2021, and for the next 2 weeks, the new measures are as follows. 1. A curfew is imposed countrywide, starting at 7 p.m. to 4 a.m., except for San Pedro, Key Cocker, Placencia, and Hopkins, where the curfew will remain from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. 2. Restaurants will only be able to provide takeout service except for restaurants in San Pedro, Key Cocker, Placencia, and Hopkins. 3. Casinos and churches are to be closed. 4. Any form of contact sport is not allowed. 5. Sunday 26 September and Sunday 3 October 2021 will be declared no movement days except for medical attention to purchase medication, groceries, or fuel. We are implementing these measures because projections from the Ministry of Health and Wellness show that if nothing is done, we can expect to see an increase in daily COVID infections of up to 250 new confirmed cases.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness and members of the medical response team held a press conference this afternoon to further explain the regulations from their perspective. Those in a productive sector, as well as employees of hotels and resorts, will be able to continue working under these regulations, but with some restrictions. Dr. Julio Sabido, medical officer within the Ministry of Health, says the latest measures are expected to avert over 150 hospitalizations over the next 2 weeks.
With these new measures, the intention is that we are going to avert a further 250 new infections, an additional 150 COVID-related hospital visits countrywide, 15 ICU admissions, and a minimum of 10 deaths. So that is the intention with which these measures were proposed. And I think you all know what the situation is at the Carl Kushner Memorial Hospital, how they are overburdened. The healthcare staff, nurses, doctors, pharmacists, lab techs, everyone are tired. And so with these new measures, we're hoping that these healthcare workers can get a break and they can get some much needed relief.
Dr. Andres Sosa, chairman of the Carl Kushner Memorial Hospital Association, was also at the head table. To put things into perspective in terms of the increase in recent hospitalizations, Dr. Sosa says September has already surpassed August's record.
In the 16 days of September that have passed so far, we have already had 62 admissions to the KHMH. In all of August, we had 61 admissions. And August marked the greatest number of admissions since last year. So obviously, there is a problem. Our COVID ward was designed for 23 persons. For the last 2 weeks, we've been at 30 persons, more or less. So obviously, we've had to make more space to accommodate those additional patients. There is more space that we can make use of. However, that space is not unlimited. And with more patients, there is a greater need for staff and a greater need for equipment and other resources. Again, those are not unlimited. When you increase the number of patients and the ratio in comparison to the personnel, the doctors and nurses who are there to attend to them, that can affect quality. The delivery of care can be affected. If you have one nurse or one doctor for 8 or 10 patients, obviously the quality of care slips.
Coming up, they just asked GOB for a break, but instead, restaurants have to close dine-in once more. The response from the sector when we come back.
As Belize continues to shield its people from the worst ravages of this pandemic, we must continue to keep our country safe by ensuring reliable supply chains for critical components for the fight ahead. Belize's oxygen supply is safe with 300% more oxygen supply in country than is necessary. However, Fabregas continues to make our oxygen supply chain even more robust and responsive to a potential worst-case scenario. Through supply arrangements established and secured by Fabregas, our country can receive critical life-saving oxygen from 5 regional neighbors in Mexico and Central America through marine and/or land transportation. So, in addition, Fabregas has secured additional reliable sources of life-saving oxygen using a diversity of transportation modes and countries of origin. Fabregas Belize Limited. We got your back.
The hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? Get the essentials you need to stay safe this hurricane season, such as plywood, tarp and rope, first aid kit, rubber boots, raincoats and rain ponchos, generator, portable radio and batteries, flashlight and kerosene lanterns. Weather the storm with these products and more from Benny's. Quality and savings.
When I hear that drum, 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 I get up off my seat when I hear that drum.
It's the 2021 Sir Barry's Belikin Digital Bash, giving back through music. Starting on Thursday, September 16th, with a mashup by Denise Castillo, Kylon Ely, and J-Cass, backed up by the Center Stage Band. Then, the 2021 Belikin DJ Champ, DJ Mamba, and to headline night 1, Marilyn Vanson. Friday, September 17th, we kick off night 2 with the Gil Harris 7 Band, followed by the Raven Sensation, Night Quest, and backed by popular demands, Sweet Pain 3.0. On Saturday, September 18th, we're closing out the bash with a bang, Super Fura Band, followed by Evolution Sounds, and yes, he is back, the General Super G. Catch the action on our Belikin Facebook page, YouTube, and your favorite television station each night, starting at 8 p.m. It's the 2021 Sir Barry
reaction to the Prime Minister's announcement was swift as business owners and residents flocked to social media with mixed reviews on the new COVID-19 restrictions that take effect in the next few days. While the general sentiment is that something had to be done to reduce the number of active cases, restaurateurs are concerned about the survival of their businesses that are already at the brink of shuttering. Just 2 weeks ago, a group of businessmen, including a disc jockey representing the entertainment industry, signed off on a petition asking for GOB to provide some relief for their business to recover. Instead of getting some ease, they got another clampdown. Linford Rosado of the Thirsty Thursday says that they have been blindsided.
What I find difficult to grasp is where are we going with this latest restriction. Restaurants can only do takeout, but resorts, hotels in the islands, Pasensa, Hopkins, can go full blast. So are we being sacrificed for their success? I mean, we wrote the letter the other day explaining our hardships. I was on your newscast along with my colleagues, Mr. Gillett from Rustic, my son, DJ Dalla, you know, crying, begging for some kind of relief. And instead, if I put it by the local terms, maybe we get booked. But having said all that, yes, Dwayne, I know that the situation is desperate. I know that the medical professionals are extremely overworked, underpaid, and I feel for them. But I wish that the powers that be would really sit down and bring credible solutions. More curfew, more lockdowns in one sector has not done it in the past. It has led to where we are.
Already at the verge of closing his doors, Rosado asks what happens come October 4th when the current restrictions are to expire. Will that be sufficient time to reduce the number of active cases? With restaurants only able to do takeout, Rosado worries that he and his colleagues will have to downsize their staff yet again, even as bills continues to grow.
How do I plan past these 2 weeks? I've already laid off 50% of my employees. I'm already in debt up to here with utilities and other bills that we simply can't meet, because every time we think that we can and we make commitments to the utility companies and to creditors, we get another round of restrictions. Where do we go on the 4th? Can the government at least give us a hint? Let me know, do I have to cut another 50%? Do I just stay here and just to cook and go serve the people at the gate? I mean, what is going on? Sundays is what? I still did not get the sense of what Sunday is. Is it complete lockdown? Can restaurants open because we sell food? And I think the Prime Minister said food, you can go out on Sunday and get food. So where are we? What exactly is going on? And that's how we feel. That's how all of us feel. I've spoken to a lot of my colleagues since last night. I had a meeting with my staff. They are confused out of their minds. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that we would come to this, almost lockdown of restaurants in particular again.
Many are asking whether the decision to make exceptions for Placencia, Keycocker, San Pedro, and Hopkins in the latest COVID restrictions is backed by science or purely economic. Here is the response we were given to that question.
I think you can see that the economic recovery hasn't been focused only in the economy, but also looking at the health factors. And the decision to go is we have to look into the social benefit and good for the people we serve. And so far the response in managing the pandemic with the tourism has been positive and has worked. It's working. Hence, we cannot have the scenario is not similar countrywide. The implication of the new regulation is where much attention and much, how could I say, control is needed so that we can preserve lives and we can better respond to the pandemic.
I'll just add that as a physician, I understand that we have to balance economy and health. Bear in mind that all these nurses, physicians, and other cadre of healthcare workers that the Office of the Prime Minister has given support to hire comes at a cost. And so the money has to come from somewhere.
Whenever there is movement, as I made in my presentation, there is risk increases of transmission of the disease. And if you are going to say we're going to extend it in certain areas, obviously that is a risk factor towards increased transmission. Nobody will lie to you and tell you that. But the people who are coming into the country as tourists all have a negative test, whether it is the rapid or the PCR, they do have a negative test towards infection. So it means then that that risk is decreased by the fact that the people who are mingling in these tourist areas are people who are coming in with a negative test. It's not the same as free mingling and people who have community spread. So you balance, yes, the risk increases because you're extending the hours, but you minimize it because the people who are coming in that area are have negative tests.
News 5 is trying to get confirmation of a report made on social media today, which claimed that at least 2 Mennonite communities have lawyered up to challenge the government of Belize on the COVID regulations. The report is that the 2 communities, through their business partners, are raising funds to cover the legal costs for 3 attorneys who they have hired to take on the case. It also refers to what is purported to be a private email between a representative for one of the parties and the other, where it was mentioned that the communities are looking for between 20 and 30 volunteers to put their names forward as claimants for the lawsuit. Today, News 5 contacted one of the community leaders in Spanish Lookout this morning, but disavowed that community's involvement. We are still attempting to get confirmation from the attorneys being named, and we will have more on this story on Friday. It is his second time in less than a year being sworn in as leader of the opposition. Today, the United Democratic Party's Patrick Faber left the Governor General House with head held high. Battle scars suffered over the recent months now blanketed by a sense of fulfillment. He is once more the man at the helm. He says there will be a press conference tomorrow where he will tell the nation just how he plans to unify the fractured party. We spoke with him briefly today in Belmopan.
As you know, our party has undergone quite a bit of turmoil, and so to have to come back and be reinstated is not necessarily as joyous a feeling as it was the first time in November. And even then, when I was sworn in November, I expressed that this is not necessarily the job that I would have hoped for. And that position remains the same. My ultimate position, of course, is to one day lead this nation. But in terms of now having the party united with one leader of the party and the leader of the opposition, it is a good feeling. And my commitment is that I will work, as I have always, to try to ensure that the party is strengthened, because it is in that strength that we will find the strength to be a good opposition to the government.
Would you be able to speak about the inner workings that led to this moment for you?
We will have a press conference in the morning, and at that time my colleagues will join in, the leaders of the party and others who were instrumental in helping us to forge the unity. And at that time, we will answer any such questions that you might have.
What can you tell us about reported alliances that you have formed with John Saldivar?
That is exactly what I am talking about, that we will disclose all of that tomorrow, whatever information you need.
Maybe I could ask you about Shine's former leader of the opposition's farewell letter, since that is out in public. It seems as if he conceded humbly to this occasion. What's the conversation that was had there in terms of him doing that?
We intend to speak on all of those issues tomorrow. So tomorrow's press conference will be primarily to discuss the party's matters. While you know that I have long maintained that these issues are normally internal to the party, I think so much has happened, so much has seeped into the public domain, and certainly in terms of the general membership of our party, I think they deserve to know what has happened. There has been a lot of misinformation and speculation that obliges us to try to correct those things.
As it relates to recently circulated comments about the former Belmopan City Mayor, Khalid Belail, he clarified today that he is not out of the race in his bid for UDP caretaker for Belmopan. He released the following video.
Hi Belmopan. In this short message, I want to firstly thank those of you who have welcomed my team and I into your homes. We look forward to meeting those of you who we have not reached yet. Secondly, contrary to erroneous reports, I want to emphatically state that my campaign for the post of UDP caretaker continues and in fact is reinvigorated. We are the United Democratic Party, and our team is going to do all it takes to ensure that the democratic process prevails in our party. We will do all it takes to safeguard the right of the people of Belmopan to choose who represents them. We take the opportunity to thank those of you who have already expressed support for our team, and I take the opportunity to reissue the invitation to like-minded citizens who would like to become a part of our journey. I encourage you to continue to protect yourselves and your loved ones during this time of pandemic, and I thank you.
I received a video from Khalid Belail this morning saying that his bid for UDP caretaker in Belmopan is far from over and that it continues. However,
that dismisses immediately some of the speculation and misinformation that has happened. But as I said, we'll speak more about it tomorrow.
After the break, residents are raising a stink about garbage. Hear how one group is helping to collect the trash when we come back.
Buenos días. 2 boletos para Ticacas, por favor. ¿Ida y vuelta? 54. Este dinero es falso. ¿Falso?
Sí, este billete es falso.
¿Y por qué es falso?
Porque un verdadero billete de $50 tiene una marca de agua en la forma de un jaguar con la marca de agua y electrotipia de denominación y un hilo de seguridad.
Conozca su dinero. Reconozca el billete falso al verlo. No se confíe en solo una de las características de seguridad. Busque la claridad y calidad de la impresión. Las líneas y el color impresos deben ser nítidas y claras. Sienta la calidad del papel y de la impresión levantada. Ponga el billete a la luz y observe. El hilo de seguridad avantanillada debe formar una línea completa cuando se pone a la luz. La marca de agua y la electrotipia de denominación, el Jaguar, es la marca de agua en los billetes de $100 y $50. El gigante dormido es la marca de agua en los billetes de $20, $10, $5 y $2. El registro perfecto. Las partes del diseño impreso en la parte posterior deben caber exactamente dentro de las áreas sin imprimir en el frente del billete para formar el diseño completo. Revise los billetes de $100 para saber si está el holograma del tucán con la impresión sobrepuesta de la flor de vinca per vinca. Inclínelo para ver las imágenes pequeñas del tucán y el numeral 100. Revise los billetes de $50 para saber si está la imagen del pez ángel en color verde plateado. Mira más cerca. Utilice luz ultravioleta para ver los elementos fluorescentes. Utilice una lupa para ver las letras más pequeñas que leen Central Bank of Belize y el valor del billete. Detenga la circulación de los billetes beliceños falsos. Pasa todas las falsificaciones a la policía inmediatamente. Es una ofensa criminal guardar o utilizar falsificaciones. Esté a salvo, esté seguro, conozca su dinero.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
A man was killed around 6:30 on Wednesday evening in the ordinarily quiet residential Kings Park area of Belize City. The killing has family members at a loss, and police are trying to establish a motive and track down a suspect. News 5's Marion Ali has the story.
When 49-year-old James Wilfred Gordon ventured out of his Santa Barbara Street home on a bicycle shortly after 6 on Wednesday evening to go on the north side of Belize City, little did his family know that would be the last time they'd see him alive. The Lone Shark, formerly a Cremandala Raiders star player, had reportedly gone to collect money from a man on Main Avenue when two youths rode past and opened fire.
He went to meet someone who had some money for him, and whilst he was waiting for the person, two persons on riding separate bicycle approached him, and one of the persons fired several shots at him, causing his fatal injuries.
He never did tell me about anybody, if anybody threatened or stuff like that, but I know he and personally actual daily loan shark stuff and whatnot and thing.
Police say they don't think the attack was gang-related or that Gordon was necessarily the intended target.
We believe that he was not the target, but somebody who was inside of the yard at the moment. We do not know exactly if he was followed, but based on the footages that we have observed, we observed when two persons came behind him and one of them fired the shots.
Residents of the area told News 5 that they heard about 7 gunshots, and the police have recovered about 6 expended shells from the scene. Gordon's brother, Elijah, like every family member who suffer loss of loved ones to violence, wish that his brother's killing is given a thorough investigation.
I really want to really work on his case and try arrest the person or the person there where really commit this act to my family. He have a ways like everybody got their ways and so, but he don't know about the brock shop or the kind of way and stuff like that.
Up to news time today, police had no suspects detained. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Another man was shot on Wednesday night in Belize City, but he is now hospitalized. Police Superintendent Alejandro Cowo says that Eugene Tillett, a man well known to the police, was at home when he was attacked.
What we understand is that just before 9 p.m., Mr. Tillett was inside of his house when someone came from Electric Avenue, ran inside of his yard, and fired several shots at his direction, causing his injuries. He is still admitted and is in a stable condition at this moment.
Police believe that Tillett's shooting could have been the result of an ongoing dispute with another man. The decomposing body of a man was found floating in the sea between St. George's Key and Coffee Key, just off Belize City on Wednesday afternoon. Head of the Criminal Investigations Branch for the Police Department's Eastern Division, Superintendent Alejandro Cowo, shared the information this afternoon police have so far.
The body was retrieved and police were able to observe that it had apparently chopped wounds to the hand and to the right hand.
And has it been identified as it?
We have managed to speak to some persons where one of them had mentioned a name, but we are awaiting for family members to confirm if indeed that is the person.
A non-profit organization has answered the cries of Belize City residents who for weeks have not had their garbage collected. The problem is due to an impasse between the Belize City Council and the Belize Waste Control Limited. The group, whose full name is Committed to Altruism and Nurturing Oneself, or KANO, was founded by cyclist Tariq Kano, along with fellow cyclist and councillor Kaya Katous. He took to Belize City streets to clear away as much garbage as possible in one day. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Have your trash been piling up with no sight of a garbage truck in the past few weeks? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Going on almost a month now, the collection of garbage has been sporadic and in some cases not at all, as receptacles are overflowing with trash, not to mention the odor and associated health hazards. One resident today expressed what so many are feeling.
For the past almost a month, 3 weeks now.
And it's just piling up. Nobody no come round?
2 weeks gone, over 2 weeks now, man. The garbage still there at the gate. I got about 4 drums at the gate. Tuesday morning, the garbage truck come through and he pick up one garbage and I open the gate and I say for come for my one. He said, miss, you have to call the office because you have to pay.
Wait, you have to pay for pick up the garbage?
Pay for pick up the garbage. That's the way he tell me. Call the office because I have to pay. And he tell me the person where they pick up the one garbage for, call the office. I tell him, boy, if anybody me for call the office, I may call the office. So I sure nobody no call the office. And then drive off like them crazy. Man, come on.
One of the beat.
Spears.
Like Early Young, many have been taking to social media to complain about mounting trash. While the authorities have not responded, some cries have been heard by a non-profit organization, KANO, who chartered the truck and have been going around the city today collecting as much garbage as it can and taking it to the transfer station.
We have been doing civic pride cleanups in Dangriga, Curacao and Orange Walk, so we decided now that we will help out in Belize City with the garbage situation. So I find it amazing that people are so happy for us to be picking up their garbage. You know, I know that the City Council will figure out a way to get this under control shortly, but in the meantime, we'll do our part and see how best we can help.
So the organization partnered up with Councillor Kaya Katous. While she is not responsible for the garbage portfolio, Kano and Katous are both cyclists who have competed in national, regional, and international races. Councillor Katous says she didn't hesitate to assist and got behind the wheels of the truck today.
Kano has been doing things like this for a while, you know, it's not just today, and I am happy to have him come to Belize City and partner with him to do something like this. A couple months ago, I campaigned to the people on the platform of becoming a champion of the people, and I consider something like this, you know, driving a garbage truck and physically picking up their garbage to be something that is, you know, that would be loved by the people and to say, hey, this is how we put Kaya there for.
We'll see if we could come at least in the weeks to come, depending on how the situation arises. We'll see if we could do once a week or maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. We'll try our best to see how we can best help out now.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Just ahead, it was a smashing success and it's back this year. Details of the virtual Belikin Bash when we return. But first, here is a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast,
easy and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
No más estrés, no más filas largas, no más confusión, no más tardanza ni formularios complicados. Todo esto gracias a que nuestro Departamento de Servicios de Impuesto de Belice se está digitalizando. El lanzamiento de Iris Belize aportará facilidad y eficiencia a nuestra gestión de impuestos. Iris Belize contará con un portal en línea de fácil uso que le permitirá presentar sus declaraciones y realizar los pagos en línea, ver el historial completo de su cuenta, acceder al servicio de atención al cliente, darle seguimiento a sus reembolsos y mucho más. Iris Belize, Sistema de Información de Ingreso Integrado, muy pronto.
Is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV, entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
It starts tonight at 8 o'clock right here on Channel 5. Night 1 of one of the biggest events of the September celebrations calendar, the Belikin Bash 2021. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it is once again going virtual. The team over at Bowen & Bowen have been working around the clock to get you 3 fun-filled nights packed with performances from a large pool of artists. The online streaming means Belizeans at home and overseas can join in the festivities and post fan reactions. Belikin Bear brand specialist Jason Badillo wants you to enjoy good music in the comfort of your homes.
We start off with our Belizean music. We definitely have Creole music, we have Garifuna music with Punta, we have Latin music, we have techno music. We definitely got a bit more creative this year. We'll start off the night by having a mashup, and this mashup will include J. Cass, Denise Castillo, Kylon Ely, who is a new artist from Placencia. We have Richard Pitts on the saxophone. I don't know if many people know Richard Pitts, but he's really amazing. They're backed up by Center Stage Band. Those guys are great. After that, we have DJ Mumba, a young DJ from Cayo. He won the Belikin DJ Championship this year. That was virtual as well. And then we're closing it off with Marlon Vanson. Her energy is crazy. Her dancers are crazy. It's just like, it's nothing that looks local, quote unquote. It looks like an international and a global production. Coming to Friday night, we start off with Gil Harry 7. You know, it's not a party without Gil Harry. We go to some techno music and EDM with Night Quest. I know a lot of people in Belize aren't familiar with that type of music, but it's definitely a show. And then we close off Friday night with Sweet Pain 3.0. And if you guys watched Belikin Bash last year, you know what Sweet Pain is bringing, and they turned it up several notches this year. And Saturday for night 3, we kick it off with Super Furia Band. They look amazing. They put a lot of effort into their costumes and their performance and their dance and everything, so they were great. We have Evolution Songs as the DJ. You have Pinky and Kirk. And then we close it off with the General Super G, and he really brought a great performance. Not to give out too much again, but he came with his dancers, he came with his conch shell player and everything, so it's really amazing.
The Belize Agriculture Health Authority is reporting 2 outbreaks of virulent Newcastle disease in backyard poultry in the Toledo and Belize districts. The government has notified the World Organization for Animal Health, and investigations are being conducted, but affected farmers are reporting high mortality rates. Baja's Central Veterinary Diagnostics Laboratory detected the virus in samples submitted, and these findings were confirmed by an OIE reference laboratory in Ames, Iowa. Following confirmation, an emergency task force has been activated to implement control measures. The task force consists of government agencies and stakeholders, including the Belize Poultry Association. Baja informs the public that Newcastle disease is not a food safety concern and that no human cases of the virus have ever occurred from eating poultry products. Properly cooked poultry products are safe to eat. While there is the real possibility that COVID patients might need to be oxygenated at home because of the overcrowding at the hospitals, Dr. Shanna says patients may need to get reassessed by a doctor. She warns that waiting too long after breathing becomes labored can mean the difference between a safe, quick recovery and a complicated road, or worse.
I would always recommend that they get a pulse oximeter and keep track of their saturation, which is the level of oxygen circulating in the blood. And that is very important at that point, because the minute that starts to dip is when you need to come in and be reevaluated. If you were evaluated, but be reevaluated, you might need a chest x-ray or a CT scan to determine if you're developing a pneumonia. And that's important to catch on in the very beginning so that you have a better outcome, because it's when it's completely taken over, then it's harder for us to treat the patient. And those are the patients that tend to end up ventilated.
Earlier this week, we heard medical doctors speak directly to people who have been ignoring the COVID guidelines or being outright rebellious in refusing to follow them, resulting in the high numbers of new infections. Dr. Shanna Pott also joined her colleagues in scolding people who have been irresponsible in their behavior and refusing to do their part to stop the spread.
The vaccines are there. They're there for our safety. Not just vaccination, but practicing everything that has been set in place. We're out here complaining about the curfews, about wearing masks, about the social distancing. The restaurants and bars keep filling up, and we're not considering our healthcare workers who are overwhelmed. Okay, it's not only limited resources, but limited human resources at this point. Our country lost a lot of our nurses as well. A lot of the Filipino nurses that left. So we are at a very critical moment. And yes, it may just come to that where patients will be dying in the streets, waiting for care. We just saw that very sad case in San Pedro where a woman died in the waiting area. But the doctors and nurses are overwhelmed. So while it is easy to point fingers, you should really try to do your part in this pandemic as well.
Tourism stalwart Ian Anderson has taken a strong stance against COVID-19 by announcing his Caves Branch Adventure Resort will only accept reservations from fully vaccinated guests beginning October 1st. Anderson says he wrestled with the decision for 3 months, but his overriding concern for his staff made his choice clear. He spoke with Open Your Eyes host this morning about the new policy and the reaction from guests, both international and local so far.
I think that there's a very large percentage of travelers around the world that are looking for a safe environment to travel to. That's one. Two is that I'm highly, highly concerned about my staff. And I think the best way that we can keep both our guests to Belize and our staff safe is by taking reservations from people who have been fully vaccinated rather than those who refuse to have a vaccination.
Now, given the level of vaccine hesitancy and the population of anti-vaxxers that exists not just in Belize but across the world, you knew that you would get some pushback for a decision like this. How'd you balance it?
You know, if my wife was here, she'd be Ella, who you've all met. She'd be shaking her head right now because for the first week after making that announcement, I couldn't sleep. I was agitated. I wasn't sure exactly how my decision was going to be accepted by the populations. But I've been absolutely shocked. I've been absolutely shocked. I've had people emailing me, writing me, posting comments on our Caves Branch website. 100%, except for one comment, 100% saying, "That a boy, good for the decision. Thank you for being bold and taking the stance. We'll be there because of this." And I'm shocked that it's such a positive response that we've had from our guests.
Ian Anderson was also one of the first to offer local specials for Belizean guests when international arrivals were curtailed in the early days of the pandemic. Coming up, another episode of the COVID Chronicles. Tonight, Isanika Tana looks at the live streaming as a way to pay final respects. Stay with us.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart.
If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Belize at 40. Hopeful hearts, steady hands, together we rise. The entire SMART family wishes all Belizeans a safe and happy September celebrations. SMART, bringing people together.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
In tonight's episode of our weekly COVID Chronicles, we look at the rise in live streaming and other services provided by various funeral homes across the country. We also look at how one of those companies is dealing with the tragic loss of a loved one who made a reputable name for herself in the business. The pandemic has pushed Paulinos and Coy's funeral homes to step up their game, especially since memorial services are limited to only 10 mourners. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
COVID-19 has prompted businesses across the country to innovate. With the advent of the pandemic in 2020, there was a marked increase in the number of online platforms that offer a range of services, including live streaming. Arguably the first to introduce real-time video and audio coverage of a memorial service locally over the internet was Paulina's Funeral Home. The company has become synonymous with live streaming, as well as the full-on pageantry that comes along with burying the dead. They've dealt with numerous COVID-related funerals since the arrival of this highly infectious disease, but the past 2 weeks have been exceptionally challenging for everyone involved with the parlor. Having to bury one of their own who passed away while expecting is heartrending. To know that she died of the dreaded virus is all the more difficult.
My emotions are all over the place, but you know, I have to be strong for my mom, my pa. Because I lost Nicole, I lost my next brother. Only two we live, so somebody have to be the next bigger person.
When every day I breathe, please come back to me. If I could turn.
Nicole Baptiste had an important role to play in the funeral business. As the face of the Paulinos, she interacted with grieving families, helping them choose from a variety of options. But Nicole's death meant her family had to use the same services they usually provided to others. In a tragic twist, her send-off became the ultimate advertisement for the company. Across town, the competition has been around much longer, but it has also been forced to put its best foot forward during these unprecedented times. Over at Koi's funeral parlor, a crematorium sits next door to a small chapel. It is ideal for a gathering of no more than 10 mourners.
We have an indoor cremation machine. Everything is digitized and it's computerized. And right beside the cremation machine, we have a chapel. And what we have done is that since 10 persons, 10 family members are allowed, once a person hasn't died off of COVID, we would have a small viewing of the deceased with the family members, where it would still be something similar to a normal funeral process.
In Nicole's case, she was interred at Eternal Gardens. Her father, like many of her loved ones, is still having a hard time coming to terms with what has happened.
The deceased is my daughter. Nicole Baptist. She's the second. She's the second child for me, for my wife. Also, she went to a primary school. And from there into West College. And to 6 months from there. Went to San Pedro. To do medical school out there, no?
Live streaming has become the primary medium through which friends and family can virtually attend the memorial service during the pandemic. Because of strict regulations, the number of attendants has been limited considerably.
In some ways, that is the only way people who wish to show their respect to the family can do that. We try to put obituaries on our Facebook page and have the family members share that with the friends and families, because most of the time, because of the changes, there would be a situation where someone had passed and that person wouldn't really have known, because everything is happening so fast.
Milton Paulino is the owner of Paulino's Funeral Home. The deaths of his fiancée and unborn child are a test of his strength as a man. Yet he has been able to maintain his composure despite the insurmountable odds stacked against him.
I'm not here to complain or to be sad, but instead I'm here to give thanks and praise to the forces that govern life, that made me cross path with such a powerful force like that of Nicole's. I want to thank God for giving me the chance of experiencing true love, and for that I will forever be grateful. The love that we share will be the perpetual fuel that will drive me through the passage of time.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands. Keep your social distance.